Okay, get this. Today's deep dive is going to be wild. We're going straight to the source to understand how ChatGPT actually thinks.
You heard that right. Our main source today, a conversation with ChatGPT itself.
And let me tell you, it got meta fast.
Yeah.
One of the things that blew my mind was how it understands us, even with our, well, human imperfections. I mean, who actually types with perfect grammar every time?
It's a testament to how far natural language processing has come. ChatGPT isn't just hearing words, it's understanding meaning.
Okay, that's cool and all, but how? It's not like it's got a dictionary. It's flipping through every time we mess up, right?
No, way more complex than that. Imagine this. ChatGPT sees a sentence like, I can't wait to see the movie. Now, it sees wait, right?
Yeah.
But it also sees it's about anticipation. And see is next to movie. That's how it gets what you meant, despite the typos.
So it's all about context, like it's filling in the gaps.
Exactly. It uses context and something called semantics, basically, the meaning of words and how they relate.
Yeah.
And it's not just one sentence, it remembers the whole conversation.
Whoa, hold up. ChatGPT has a memory.
In a way, yeah. It's learning and changing with every interaction. Another cool thing it does is probabilities. So it comes across a phrase it's never seen, some new slang.
Happens all the time online, right?
Right. It takes that phrase, compares it to similar ones it has seen, and makes a guess based on, you guessed it, the context.
That's kind of wild. It's constantly evolving.
Exactly. And it gets even crazier. It has built-in correction tools. It can fix typos, add missing word, all on the fly. It even gets us on a phonetic level, understands the sounds we're making.
Crucial for those of us who love voice commands. Like having a super smart editor built right in. This is all making a lot more sense now. Honestly, the more we talk about it, the more I realize just how complex this really is.
Complex, yeah, but that's what's so amazing. We're talking serious algorithms, neural networks, tons of data all working together so we can basically chat with machines like they're human. To really wrap our heads around how ChatGPT processes all this language, we got to understand neural networks a bit more.
Right, neural networks it is.
Yeah.
What are they and how do they fit into all of this?
Imagine a web, right? But instead of spiders and stuff, it's interconnected nodes. Each one does a tiny calculation, and together they process information. For language, different networks specialize in different parts, just like our brains.
So like different parts of the brain working together.
Exactly. Some are good with word order, others figure out meaning from the surrounding words, and so on.
So it's not just one big neural network doing everything.
Not quite. It's more like a team of specialists, each with their own strengths, working together to understand what we mean.
Makes sense. So by combining these different neural networks, ChatGPT can understand not just what we're saying, but the how too.
Precisely. That's the secret sauce that makes ChatGPT's responses so accurate and, well, human-sounding.
You know, it's kind of mind-blowing that ChatGPT gets us on such a deep level, even with all our weird ways of talking. Makes you think of other things we take for granted, like reading text from images, snapping a pic of a recipe, scanning a document.
Yes.
ChatGPT actually mentioned this, talking about OCR, which, I'll be honest, I needed a refresher on.
OCR. Optical character recognition, the bridge between paper and pixels.
Right. Like when I scan something with my phone instead of typing it all out again.
Yeah.
That's OCR doing its thing, yeah.
Exactly. It basically lets machines read text from images, turning it into digital words we can edit. Early versions were cool, but kind of basic. They needed perfect fonts, clean images, the works.
So like that crumpled receipt in my pocket wouldn't work.
Probably not. But just like ChatGPT, OCR got a massive upgrade thanks to AI, specifically our friend the neural network.
Those neural networks are everywhere. What'd they do for OCR?
Imagine this. You feed a neural network a ton of handwritten A's, different styles, different people, you name it. The network starts noticing patterns, learning what makes an A, even when it's handwritten.
So it's not just about knowing the perfect letter, but how people actually write it, messy and all.
You got it. And it goes beyond handwriting. These networks made OCR recognize tons of fonts, from fancy calligraphy to weird, distorted text that would stump older systems.
That's insane. So OCR went from needing perfectly printed stuff to deciphering our scribbles. Makes you wonder, did this whole OCR evolution lead to things like voice recognition.
Absolutely. OCR was like a stepping stone, showed that machines could be taught to read visually, opening the door for them to interpret and generate language, too.
It's like a chain reaction. One breakthrough leads to another, and bam, we're casually chatting with AI.
Pretty wild, right? And just like with ChatGPT, it shows how important neural networks are for making AI smarter.
Speaking of AI understanding things, there's this other part of our chat with ChatGPT that really caught my attention. Its whole art thing. It's like AI is picking up a paintbrush. I've seen those AI art pieces, and they're mind-blowing. But how does it go from words, like a cat wearing sunglasses on a beach, to an actual image?
That's where things get really interesting. It uses something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs.
Jans. Okay, now that sounds serious.
Oh, it is. Picture two neural networks duking it out. One's the generator, takes your words and tries to make a matching image. The other is the discriminator, trained on tons of real images. Its job: spot the fake.
So it's like a constant battle. The generator's trying to trick the discriminator.
You got it. And with every try, the generator learns, gets better at making those images more realistic, believable.
Makes sense, but it can't just be any image, right? It's got to make sense with what we asked for.
Exactly. Just like ChatGPT uses context for language, these AI image generators use it visually. That cat example gets broken down. Cat, sunglasses, beach. But the AI also gets how those things should look together.
Which reminds me, ChatGPT mentioned plausible visual creation. What makes an AI image plausible instead of, totally bonkers?
Great question. It's all about consistency. It's a certain kind of realism. Like, you wouldn't see a cat bigger than a palm tree on the beach, right?
No way. Or a beach umbrella just floating in the air.
Exactly. That's the AI understanding visual consistency. Things have to be the right size, in the right place. Then there's physics, or at least making it look like the real world.
Right, like shadows that make sense, colors that look real, the lighting has to feel natural. Those all make it believable.
Absolutely. And it gets even more granular. How objects relate to each other matters. Someone holding a balloon, the balloon can't be inside their hand, right?
Yeah, don't want a balloon glued to someone's hand. So it's about understanding how things exist in the world visually.
Exactly. And then there's the artistic side. Even in a fantasy world, it needs style, coherence, the colors, the composition. It all adds to the plausibility.
I say all these pieces, understanding the prompt, getting the physics right, keeping a consistent style, it all has to click.
Yeah,
Makes you appreciate just how much these AI image generators are doing.
it really does. And it shows how far we've come. We give a machine some words, and it gives us back a whole picture.
Incredible. It all comes back to that teamwork between us and AI. We bring the idea, and AI makes it real.
It's a beautiful partnership for sure. Shows how much potential AI has to help us be even more creative. And, speaking of working together, remember how ChatGPT talked about organizing these conversations into chapters? It's like it gets how much we crave structure, especially with complex topics.
Sonny, you should say that when you were breaking down those plausible visual creation ideas,
Yeah.
I was mentally organizing them, almost like chapters. It helps you remember it all later.
Exactly. That's what ChatGPT was getting at. Imagine if these conversations, these deep dives, were automatically organized like that. Want to go back to GANs? There's a chapter. Need an OCR refresher? Boom, another chapter.
That would be a game changer. No more scrolling through transcripts trying to remember stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like an AI-powered index for our brains.
Exactly. It's a glimpse into a future where information is tailored for us. AI helps us make sense of it all, helps us learn better.
Now that's exciting. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've explored the amazing mind of ChatGPT, from how it decodes our messy human language to its artistic side.
We've uncovered the power of neural networks, the magic of GANs, even took a trip down memory lane with OCR.
And maybe most importantly, we started to imagine a future where we're teaming up with AI to understand and create in ways we never thought possible.
So as you go about your day, take a moment to notice how AI is already woven into everything. There's a whole lot going on behind the scenes, and the more we get it, the more amazing it becomes.